A Break in Apple Bucking Season, written by Renaissance Brownie. Up and at 'em, apples! I holler, standing in my usual spot between Apple Bloom's and Big Mac's doorways, so they both can hear me. Breakfast is waiting for ya downstairs! I flatten my ear against Big Mac's door and listen for any sign that he woke up. Sure enough, after a second, I hear his bed creak and a few heavy hoofsteps on the wooden floor, so I knew he was out of bed. Next, I sidestep and place my ear against Apple Bloom's door for the same reason. I can already hear the adorable little yawning noises she makes when she stretches sit-ups in bed. I can, practically, see her rubbing the sleep out of her eyes and slowly blinking as she greets the new day. Stepping back from the door, I nod to myself and head down the creaky staircase past Granny's room. I pay her closed door no mind, as she doesn't help with the outdoor chores anymore, so there's no reason to wake her up this early. Sometimes I'm actually grateful she's so hard of hearing, or else I'd be worried about waking her up myself. When I reach the bottom of the stairs, I turn to the right to get the table ready for the first meal of the day. At this point, I've already been up for almost an hour, and I prepare breakfast right after I finish milking the cows. By the time my siblings join me, leftovers of sleep still etched in their features. I've got the table all set up for them. Morning, little sis! I smile as my little sister reaches the bottom of the stairs, followed by my big brother. Morning, she yawns. Her bow is crumpled and battered from a night of rest. I still don't get why she sleeps with that thing on. I mean, it's the cutest gosh darn thing you ever saw, but still. Good morning, Big Mac. Yup. His eyes were barely open, and he swayed back and forth a little as he walked. He was never much of a morning pony. They both sit down to a plate of hay hash browns, fried potatoes, applesauce, and a pitcher of fresh milk to wash it all down. I already ate while I was cooking, so I take this time to explain the game plan. Welcome to the last day of apple bucking season. Today, we'll hit the last section of the orchard and gather up all the rest of them apples. I figure me and Bloom can handle that while you work on building a new chicken coop, Big Mac. Normally, this is when I expect an "yup" from my brother, but today, he just turns his head and looks out the window. Raindrops drum against the glass panes and trickle down the outside. Despite it being the sunrise, the thick layer of clouds block out the light and leaves everything in a pretty dim, gloomy atmosphere. Do we really have to? My sister asked importantly, making a pouty face you wouldn't believe. Well, yes, I answer. It's not like my sister to complain about her chores. She always had a good attitude towards manual labor, just like any other apple. Those apples ain't gonna bug themselves. It's just, we've been bugging apples all week. We're getting tired, she pleads, glancing over at Big Mac for confirmation. I can see the battle between pride and fatigue flare up and quickly die with a whimper before he answers. He looks at me with his head lowered slightly, apparently ashamed that he let his work get the best of him. Plus, the weather's just so nasty, Apple Bloom continued. Do you really want to go outside and spend all day in the rain? After years of practice, I'm finally getting to be able to resist my sister's adorable little begging pose, but something about her tired eyes and crumpled bow really gets me. I find myself looking outside with the same expression my brother had worn just a minute ago. Not really, I admit as much as myself as to my siblings. But don't y'all want to take the last day of apple bucking season out of the way? We've been looking forward to this all week. Those apples will still be there tomorrow. We still got days before they start falling on their own, she points out. It's a pretty good point, I admit. There's not really any real reason why we should get done apple bucking today, other than my stubborn pride. When I woke up this morning and saw the weather, I promised myself I wouldn't let it stop from wrapping up apple bucking season, but I hadn't stopped to think of the rest of my family. I sigh and look out the window again, considering my options. Defeatedly, I reply, "Alright, we could take the day off. We'll finish the last section of the orchard tomorrow. Now eat your breakfast." My siblings smile and start to chow down with an abrupt enthusiasm that only can come from unexpected good news. I disappear from the table and venture into another floor down to one of our many storage rooms. When I return, my brother and sister are almost finished eating. "As soon as y'all are done, why don't you come to the living room and we can play a game of Apple Land?" I beam, waving some board games in my hooves for them to see. "Yup!" my brother nearly shouts, his ears perking up. For some reason, he's a huge fan of board games. "Oh, all right!" my sister cries with joy. I feel like she would be as excited as any other relaxing activity. She really just needs a break from all her hard work. We all do, actually. The two of them gulp down the last of their breakfast and rush into the living room, where I am waiting with the board of Apple Land already set up. Ooh, I want to be yellow," Apple Boom announces as she throws herself down next to the board. "Alright then." I laugh, placing the yellow piece in the starting position. "And I'm guessing you'll be red?" "Yup." My brother smiles. "Then I'll be green." I pause. "To match my eyes." The three of us giggle. That's sort of a long-running joke between the three of us. We can't remember how it started or why we thought it was funny in the first place, but I always play as green to match my eyes. It doesn't matter why, we laugh together anyways. With our little color-picking ritual complete, we start to play. We laugh our way through Apple Land, pointing out some details on the board we never noticed, and making jokes that only we could understand. Soon, we move on to another game, and we take turns playing Battle Pony and trying to guess where their opponent hid the pieces. After an hour or two, Granny Smith ambles down the staircase and joins us after grabbing some apples from the kitchen. As a family, we while away the hours playing charades, Guess Who, and just about every other game we can think of. At some point, Apple Boom points out that the sky has been cleared up, and the sun is starting to break through the clouds. We all get up to gather around the window and look at the weather. Don't worry," I tell her with a smile, patting her cute little head. "We can still wait till tomorrow to get back to work. I reckon it's mighty muddy out there." I wink. "And we wouldn't want to tear up all that wet grass now, would we?" "No, we wouldn't," she grins. "Nope," Big Mac concurs. "Alright then." I head back to our pile of board games, still grinning. What should we play next? I know I promised myself I'd be more productive today, but sometimes keeping promises isn't as important as spending the time with the ponies you love. Just seeing them having so much fun together makes today better than any other apple bucking day I can remember. The end. Hello, Pony. Snuggets here. Hope you enjoyed the reading. If so, be sure to leave a like. And, if you haven't already, subscribe for readings like this one every Saturday. Alright, that's it for me. This is Snuggets, signing out.